Made by music enthusiasts, for music enthusiasts. This is the And Vehement Company Music Podcast.
What's happening, y'all?
What's up, everybody?
I'm Ashton.
And I'm KP.
And this is the And Vehement Company Music Podcast, the show made by music enthusiasts.
For music enthusiasts.
All right,
Yo
and welcome
ass.
to the... Yeah, oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, let's keep that. And this is the Mixdown, just a raw, unfiltered, uncut conversation. And, you know, the song says one thing leads to another. Well, one subject segues into another. Of course, we got the homie Big Mar. Big Mar. Big Mar. Bassist, music producer, Marlo Scott. So, let's, without further ado.
Pleasure to be a part of it.
Without further ado, let's get to it.
Yeah.
So what we have on tap for tonight?
Yeah, I'm waiting for Ashton. He's the one always lead us into what we're talking about.
All right, well, check this. We're still on our producers series. You know, we first started off with defining what a producer is. You know, if you missed that episode, I highly recommend it. That was a great conversation. Go ahead and watch that. You know, save this one in your watch later playlist. Go back and watch that because that was a good conversation. But now we're gonna continue the producers conversation, just honoring some of the great producers that have, you know, wrote and composed all these different songs that we all love and enjoy. So on deck today, we got the one and only, the most underrated producer in my book. You know, he doesn't get the roses, the flowers that he deserves, but the DeVante Swing. You know, because even
DeVante.
KP, she put me on to some records that I had no idea he produced. I'm like, what? Really? He produced? I'm like, yeah, DeVante Swing is that dude, man. Y'all better recognize.
Yeah.
Donald the Great Jr. Come on, somebody, come on, huh? Man, you start, literally, that's what made me want to do is because, when you find out, oh, DeVante Swing did that, then you're, going down this rabbit hole, and I'm like, not only myself, but other people are like, he is just so underrated. He does not get the notoriety that he deserves, the talk about that he deserves, and the way that he shaped a lot of 90s music all the way through into early 2000s, to be honest. When you just start watching his work and listening to what he's done behind the scenes, he's so low key. It's just he does not get the acknowledgement, but we're gonna acknowledge him tonight.
DeVante, we're going to give you your flowers because if music enthusiasts, especially in black music, don't have you as top 5 in the 90s, then they don't know music at all. You're top 5 of the 90s. Period.
Top 5. And then the way that his fingerprint touches even far into the 2000s, because without him there's no Missy, Timbaland, there's no Pony, Genuine, there's none of that. You feel me? That whole swing mob camp. What?
Yep. The basement.
That's something we get into.
He was in there. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He shaped them. And so those things that we hear from them are from the seeds that he planted with them in that camp. That's crazy. DeVante, the founder of Jodeci, one of the most influential R&B groups of all freaking time.
And Ashley's gonna love it because I know we've talked about it before. I think maybe even one of the episodes early on when I first started making episodes with you guys. He also is one of the catalysts for ushering the new era of R&B in the 90s from the inspiration of the Commissioned and Winans, because they were all in the church, and they you hear it as other than the Boys to Men's on them. Jodeci was taking there are songs right now, there are hit songs. When you get to the vamp, they're biting from Commission. They're biting. I can't even think of the song right now. Yeah, it was one song in the vamp. It was just all bit. It was just all Commission bit.
Yeah, when he was like, "My arms are open wide."
My arms are open wide. Yeah.
That's a line from Running Back to You from the Commission song.
Yes, it is. It is.
So
like
And even-
literally.
Yep.
so and they were really intentional about taking gospel influences and putting it in their in their music. Oh, I mean, we're pretty much talking about Jodeci. I know this is about DeVante, but even on the song "Forever My Lady," the way I think who led it, Casey
led most of them, but DeVante wrote and arranged and produced all of
Yeah,
them.
and produced it.
Right, yeah.
Core
So
progression.
my point is how churchy how they sang the verse in "Forever My Lady." Like they really took it
And
to church.
every
It was very
single
preachy. Yes.
Jodeci song, it's church. Like KC don't give nothing but church. Literally, they were like the first group in the '90s to make it gritty, like more church rooted, hip hop infused, like that R&B sound. Because prior to them, like you said, Marlo, there was Boys to Men, there's In Vogue, there's all these like pretty perfect prim sounding perfect R&B groups, and then here comes Jodeci, very gritty grunge church loud, you know, you get what I'm saying, like that kind of choir vibes, like devotional
Gospel
vibes,
chorus mixed with hip hop
quartet situation. Like literally all I see is KC like running a. Could you imagine him at like a quartet program or something, especially in the
Man.
early '90s? Like what? Like literally, they gave you was that gritty church sound. It was like 90s R&B with edge was like literally what he did. And man, wow.
Speaking of which, I think DeVante, he was actually in some quartet. I saw some picture on Facebook with him like at 14, 15, like pictured with a bunch of older guys. It looked like a quartet group to me. So I mean, it all made sense to how that did.
because Casey had a quartet album when he was 10 years old or something like that.
Oh wow.
What's Casey's real name? Little something.
Casey Haley or
Little
Cedric Haley. Cedric.
Little Cedric Haley and the Haley Singers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes
Maybe
perfect
you can
sense.
find that. Yeah, maybe you can find that and put that on the background music.
Yeah.
But no,
Like,
Sure, yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Hilarious.
Yeah.
but you know
I mean-
what? I was gonna say one thing about DeVante that I love is you can hear that the ushering of a new wave of R&B as we go into the '90s with just some of the rugged rhythms mixed with the church chord influences. I know Teddy was already doing it to some extent. Brian Morgan was already doing it and stuff like that as we was going into the '90s. But DeVante was really a classical pianist. So you heard all the rich chord progressions that he did and how rich the influence was, and you could hear once Jodeci got to Uptown Records and they released their first album in '91, you could tell. After '91, all the other spin-off groups and up and coming young groups that was biting off of that Jodeci sound and biting off of those rich gospel influenced chord progressions. You know what I'm saying? You can hear, you go listen to groups like Today. There's some other like groups that didn't really like make it to its apex, but they have some songs that kind of maybe made some noise, but not maybe on a real national level. And like you go to like TikTok and stuff like that, you listen to some of that stuff. I'm like, it's like a Jodeci bit song. Like even how it sounds production wise, like DeVante was really influential in how R&B was inspired from that early 1991, probably into '96. That window of time, there was a lot of biting of DeVante Swing's production. A lot.
Oh, for
A
sure,
lot,
yeah.
a lot of. Okay. Yeah. Like literally. And then like, I think that just changed the game for how sonically R&B, especially with the male groups and different things, like how they sounded. Cause then you come up with Drew Hill and you have, like we were talking about the other day, Cisco. That's church. Like
Yes.
Cisco gives nothing but Drew Hill all in. Like you listen to Beauty, like that's a worship song. Like, come on, somebody. Somebody, come on. Like,
Cisco could really be in the Mighty Clouds of Joy if he wanted to, for real.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, it made it okay to be like to be loud and grungy and just, you get what I'm saying? Like, you compare it to when you think about Wanye from Boyz II Men's vocals compared to Cisco's vocals or KC's vocals. They're all good, and you could tell Wanye and them come from church too, but it's a difference. It's different.
Oh yeah.
Y'all agree? Like,
well, no, for sure.
I think we needed to have a hashtag. Y'all gonna laugh at this. We need to have a hashtag. Make kids be a part of musical accompaniment in church again, great again. Like, make America great again. Make your child go to church and be in the music department, play an instrument, sing, be in the choir. When they get to a certain age, be in an adult choir at 13 years old. We need to get back to that. When the kid gets, good enough, maybe he plays drums or he plays something, because that influence, that was all of us, Ashton. That influence carried over to the next phase of music.
Yeah,
and
I will say this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I mean, I'll say this, and not to play devil's advocate, but I mean, you're kind of starting to see that, like with these young prodigies coming to church playing drums and keys. I mean, you get that from musicians, but not so much singers. And so I'll say we the church is in need of more young singers. I will say that. So definitely, I agree with you on the singers part. Yeah, and,
I mean, of course, I'm gonna say all of it because I'm a big advocate of to some extent the church being very influential on the children, on our children, and that can help them carry on into other endeavors. Because I want that legacy to continue. I mean, we all got different beliefs about how music is supposed to go. We all believe music is music. And I would love that influence of being raised in the church to still carry over into the secular industry. I'm sorry.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? It goes back to Ray Charles. It goes back to the 50s and the 40s and stuff. Like, this has been an ongoing thing, and it's kind of lacked the past 25-ish, 15. We'll say 15.
Because I'm going to say, I mean, even now in my city, like, there are no young musicians. Like, it's really dying out. I don't know what y'all see out there, but here in this city, once the generation that's playing now is done, I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I truly do not. I don't see no kids up watching, looking, getting a turn, even wanting to get up there and play. But two, I think to your point, I was thinking about this earlier. I was literally at work thinking about it, and not just like in the music situation. I was just thinking about church in general, how things started shifting around like the early 80s, 90s into that name it, claim it, all that kind of situation. Because prior to that, there wasn't any of that. And you were literally, you know what I'm saying? You were going for community. You were going to get the word and all these things. And then all that other stuff came about and changed things. So now I think too, because church has become such a big business, that has also hindered younger musicians from coming up. Because if you get in a $600, $700, $800, $900 check on Sundays, you don't give a dang about no 10-year-old coming up to try to learn how to play and take your spot.
Yep.
Right.
And that's just the real of the situation. And pay to play didn't start happening until about 20 years ago, and that was when my ex-husband, like, that was when it kind of first started getting introduced. I'm gonna say like 2007, 2006, 2007. Some churches still weren't on the wagon with paying you to play. It was just like, you better get your butt up here or don't play. So prior to that, it wasn't about the money. So it was just like, everybody was just doing it for ministry or whatever. But now that check, I think has a lot to do with the next generation coming up. No one's interested and bringing them up.
Let's also be real. When you don't have because y'all can all attest to this. It's not just me and Ashley. You can, KB, of course, you can attest to this. When you don't have many options in church, but to sit there and just listen to what's going on, whether it's the music, the word, whatever, you might have got a coloring book maybe if you were a certain kid. But how I grew up in church, you had to just sit there. For 4 hours sometimes, 3 and 4 hours. Because there was no we get out an hour and a half from now. I was raised in the Apostolic Church. We get out when the Holy Ghost says so. If people was tearing on the altar, we there for an extra 2 hours, right? So
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So my grandma told me the story about initially how I ended up on the front row, Ashton, which was I think I was about 3, maybe just had turned 4. It was somewhere around there, and I was sitting with my grandfather up until that point from birth. And one Sunday, they said I heard the drums, how the drums were being played, and I asked my grandfather, "Can I go sit by the drums?" He said, "Go ahead." And I walked over there and sat on the front row, and that's how Enter Your Brother and Jordan and all of us sitting on the front row together because they was already right there, you know. And so I say all that to say this, KP. Devices, and I'm gonna tell them myself. I'm gonna tell them myself. I quickly give my kids devices, especially if they're with me as a single father now, because I have to play and I don't have anybody watching sometimes. So they gotta get these devices and these phones and stuff like that and just sit there. But back in the day, there was none of that. You're gonna sit there and while I play drums or bass or lead praise and worship or preach or whatever, and you better not move.
True.
It better be to go to the restroom. And if it's anything other than that, when we get home, you already know what's going to happen.
That little choir stand.
Right. It was a lot of that. A lot of my homies would tell me that my mom would give me a look from the choir stand when I was younger, like, boy, you better, or we get home. So I'm saying all to say that like things like devices and phones and tablets are also a hindrance for kids just sitting there and seeing what's going on, hearing what's going on, the drums, you know, the bass, the keys. That's an issue. Because if you're like my son sitting there on his tablet playing Roblox or whatever, like you ain't interested in no drums. If I was at my own either. You know?
Yeah, it's definitely a culmination of different hindrances and different things that's you know making it very difficult for the next generation to. I mean, if I don't know, like how y'all feel. I'm not a musician at all, but like I would be so nervous if I was y'all.
Even beyond that, I mean, the fact that I'm teaching young kids not just drums but like music theory period, because I did go to college for that and I can actually teach a little bit of that, and you know,
yes, you can.
I don't have any issues with them feeling like they're not interested or not, but I do understand that there is kind of a famine, so to speak, with the next generation. I do want to acknowledge that. I don't want to say that that's not the case.
There is a famine, but I will say this to piggyback off what you just said. In my experience, still being around the church scene to some extent, what I have noticed or I've paid attention to even on social media is that the young up-and-coming musicians in a church atmosphere mainly doesn't come from a mega church or what we could consider like almost a huge church. It usually comes from a local, smaller building or a church that doesn't really believe in paying musicians. Normally you find more of that. We might have something here because, you know, of the intimacy of the church itself, or we don't like to believe in paying musicians. Some of them old backyard churches like that still like believe in like, oh, like the Holy Ghost is more important than getting a check type vibes and all that stuff. Like that's where you find a little kid being like, oh, let me go play the drums because nobody's up there playing, you know.
Yeah, like I never went to a mega like. Especially young. I mean, there was no mega churches back, like mega churches. Like every church was a family, community church or whatever. You belonged to that church and you fellowshipped with all the other churches because we had 1,000,000,001 afternoon services and programs that we went to around the city every week to different churches, and you fellowshipped with all the other little churches, and that's what it was.
That's the issue right there. Is the fact that we got too many. Oh, I want to go to this popular church now. Even if you go, like the local church, what we consider the local church is not a thing anymore. You know, and it kind of
community. Yeah, the church community is not really like a thing anymore. It's just like the church you go to, and that's it. Like you're not fellowshipping with any other churches around the city or any other people around the city. It's literally just your church against the world, and
and they're all incorporated now, because back in the day it used to be so and so was Kojic, or so and so was PAW, or so and so was Original Glorious, or so and so was International Baptist, or or full gospel, like Bishop
Or-
Moore.
A lot of people went to the church in their own neighborhood, like walking distance. Like it
Yeah,
it wasn't no driving 2 or 3 miles up, getting on the highway, getting off of exit 175 to go to this one church.
Yeah, going down the highway 20 miles to get to church. Like a lot of people, their church was in their proximity. I lived in Elyria, Ohio, so me driving from my house to the church was like me. I mean, it wasn't 2 minutes down the road, but at the same time, it really wasn't that far away.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, man,
So,
we done got all off track.
No, yeah. So getting back to DeVante Swing. So some interesting things how he actually began his musical career. So obviously Virginia born and North Carolina raised. When he was about 16, he was actually trying to get a job in Prince's camp. So he journeyed to Paisley Park in Minneapolis, trying to audition for Prince. I guess the receptionist, I mean, it was that time. That time in life where you had the receptionist in the studios and, it wasn't really direct, kept denying his demo that he was trying to hand Prince. So it was kind of like, so after so many times, he just said, man, forget it. So he went back to North Carolina. So I think it was because he was actually a mixer producer as well, not just music, but he also mixed and engineered records then. So he mixed High Fives, I guess, first single, the song I Just Can't Handle It. So that was him. I'm not sure, like 1990, 89, 90 or something like that.
Okay.
So I know he may not have produced it, but he definitely did engineer that record. So I guess he started to get a buzz from that. And then me personally, I can sit here and talk about all the all that stuff. I think my mind goes back when they did a rendition of Lately by Stevie Wonder, and that's what really like took them over the top when they performed that on Martin. So the Varnell Hill show, if you want to say that. So
was it Father MC off of Uptown Records where they made their debut? Treat them like they want to be treated. You should treat them right. And they did the backgrounds on that. That was like their.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you should treat them right. Treat them like they want to be treated. You should treat them right. So, and then they was in the music video too.
Should have known.
Yeah, so that was 1990. I think it was Father MC. I think.
Yeah, that is a Father MC song. Treat them how you want to be treated. Yeah.
So that was their very first debut out the gate, 1990.
Gotcha.
Once 91 dropped.
Woo! Forever My Lady was 91. Then Diary of a Madman.
Man, Forever My Lady, man. Them Negroes, man. Jesus Christ, man.
But even before that, he produced some stuff on Al B. Shore's album, Private Times and the Whole Nine. The song Touch You, Had Enough, Sure Thing, and You Excite Me. He produced those tracks on that album. And then Jeff Reed's album, Quiet Storm, In My House and Giving My Love to You. He produced those. And then, like you said, the Father MC Lisa Baby, and then Treat Him How You Want to Be Treated. No, I mean, but that was Jodeci on the BGVs. So
we should also shout out in respect. We should definitely shout out Al B. Shore because he definitely was very influential in DeVante Swing's development into the producer we know him to be. He even talked about it in an interview one time. I remember this. I think it might have been like one of them unsung episodes or whatever. He said, the album was pretty much all the way done in regards to the songs. He just kind of came in and just helped DeVante like tighten up the reins to get it to industry standard at the time. Get everything kind of just making sense. And so he was definitely a major player in coming in and helping him just tighten up his screws a little bit to being that phenom that he ended up becoming.
Yeah, bruh. I mean, and two, like, you just got to think about the time. Do you understand? From 91 to 95, not even the competition. I ain't going to even call it competition, but just like Like, set the scene, okay? Like, I mean,
Yes.
you had Jodeci, you had H-Town, you had
True.
everybody, and not just male groups. You had In Vogue, you had Escape, you had
Hmm.
TLC, you had, I mean, my God. I'm just thinking about the amount of actual talent, creativity that you had to have during this time because there was nobody out that was whack. Like, I mean, you feel me?
Nope.
Like,
Yeah, yeah, like true
it,
individuality.
yeah, it was just, you had Mary J. Blige. Like,
Hmm.
come on, somebody, come on. Like, you had, it was the best of the best, not only in music, but in film and TV.
Yes.
Like, from 90 to 96 was just, like,
The,
incredible. When
the,
you talk about
Incredible.
black film, you talking about
Incredible.
soul food and thin line between love and hate and all, I mean
yes.
all the things, all like
All the things.
all the things black was
All the
just
things.
90 to 96. And then you talk about leaving just like celebrity status or whatever. You talk about just individuality in black culture and colleges and HBCUs and clothing styles and hairstyles and
Hmm.
all the things that came about and then the long nails, like all the, we are just the best, bro. Like
Yes.
what?
Hmm. Yeah,
Like,
that's real. That's real.
are you serious right now? Like
Yeah,
black
no.
people literally are the greatest out here. And it's just like that time period right there. I feel like every decade has its part, right? And for the 90s, it was just really 90 to 96 was just, I mean, when you just talk
Yes.
about woo, like you had to really be talented out here in these streets
Had to.
at that time.
Hmm.
Like,
And we should definitely give credit to the fact that there was a genuine authenticity of creativity that was going on at that time because there was no internet. So that means
I
that
was
if
just
you
getting
were
ready
in
to
your
say, yeah.
own circumference, like Atlanta, New York, down south, LA, there was just different styles going on. So when it came to music, you were still in a certain genre, but you were doing your own rendition of something. You were maybe doing your own rendition of production or something like that, and not only just fashion as an artist, the sound, the fashion. I miss that because now we have an internet where everybody wants to be trendy. So trendy just creates this whole, oh, we're all going to be like this for in 2026. Oh, 2027, we're all going to be like this and wear this and do
It
this and say these
sucks.
slang words and do this all the time. Now, don't get me wrong. That's cute that girls do that. But if you go down to Atlanta or you go down to New York, you have a girl doing this or a girl doing this or a girl doing this, hey, or just different, something different. You know what I mean? Like I miss that as a young man that remembers people being diverse in where they came from.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
No, for sure. That's 100%. Shoot,
Yeah.
man, it's
Like
crazy.
individuality and yeah, it was just something to, I'm just grateful I was around. I wish I was
Yeah.
an adult at that time. I always looked to my brothers like, oh, I hate y'all because y'all can go to the movies and like we going to do this. And my cousin driving the red, bright Honda Civic two-door, like just,
Crazy.
what?
He
Y'all
used to play
remember
with big songs.
Neons? Y'all remember
Yes.
Neon's car? I used to
Oh
want a
yeah.
white Neon so bad with the white rims. Oh
Hmm.
my God. Like I used to sit on my mama's porch like, oh, I want that car. Like
No, for sure.
I'm just
There's
grateful
nothing
that
like the
I was
90s. I'm
able
telling
to
you, man.
experience
Nothing.
the 90s and all that it had to give and bring. And it was really just like, I feel like almost too like the first decade of true express like freedom in the African American community where we weren't fighting so hard for everything that we had, if that makes sense. Y'all feel
Yeah.
that too? Like you have the 60s, you with the black, we were coming into ourselves, but they were doing a lot of fighting for us at that time,
Yeah.
So 60s and the 70s and then, the 80s, you're slow. And then the 90s, it was just like we were reaping the benefits of like everything that they did and that
Absolutely.
individuality that they brought and their fashion and their hair and just their outward expression was now like, you got it. Like, take it by the reins. And they did just that in every entertainment circle. That's what I say. In film, TV, music. It was just the best. of the
The best.
best, bro.
The best.
So
You
yeah,
preach it.
speaking of which, I'm seeing here that DeVante Swing, he also produced. I mean, well, not to get. I mean, this ties into what we're actually talking about. So with DeVante and the '90s and everything, I think one of my favorite soundtracks is Strictly Business. So and then
Oh,
so
somebody.
Jodeci, well, they had a song called "Let's Fly," which DeVante he produced that. But then you also had like Stephanie Mills singing "I Just Want to Love," the song "How to Fly," nice and smooth. LL Cool J, he rapped the title cut, "Strictly Business." You had "Let the People Sing" by Heavy D and the Boys, "Shining Star" by Leaders of the New School. So it's just, but just to have that sort of gumbo of different artists and groups coming together for a soundtrack. I know we're gonna do an episode about that soon, but
And that was like normal though in the 90s.
Yes.
When you think of Waiting to Exhale, you had Tony Braxton, you had Aretha Franklin, you had
Shaka,
it was
Young
I was about to
Brandy.
say you had Shaka,
A young
you had
Brandy.
young Brandy, you had Whitney Houston, you had Shantae Moore on that thing.
Yep,
Like you talk about some of the greatest soundtracks came. That's why I said the 90s and us ruled
Yes.
the world, bro. Like I mean, because let's not even get into the Above the Rim soundtrack.
Oh boy.
It's definitely top 3 soundtracks of all time, period. When you
Period.
start talking about period. Like, but I mean, you talking about I still listen to Thin Line, they took it off of streaming, but I'm just like, oh my God, I used to have that tape. What? When H-Town redid
H-Town, yeah.
Thin Line Between and like
Yes.
killed that thing. Like what? And then just like Chocolate City and all that. Like literally, I want to be in Chocolate City now, today in
You're
2026.
hilarious.
Take me to Chocolate City with
Hey,
my.
man, Chelsea is crazy.
I want to go to Chocolate City. Only
Hey,
in
Ashley,
90s Chocolate City though.
Ashton, did you mention Christopher Williams? All I See.
Yeah, I was getting there, yeah, but that was 92.
Woo!
I'm saying 92 was when he was
All
when
I See is young. That's like literally one of the top 5 '90s R&B songs to me. Period. That song, right? Doom, doom, doo, doo, doom, doom. Woo, man.
Yeah,
I got
I was
the unplugged version too.
I was getting there because 92 is when he really turned it up. Because not only that, but he also produced a record on Mary J. Blige's debut album, What's the 411? The song "I Don't Want to
Jesus.
Do Anything Else."
Yeah, because
And that
that's
was
with
him.
Casey.
With Casey, yep.
They with their little love affair. Uh-huh.
Then also,
Yeah.
then also Al B. Shore's second album, "Sexy Verses," the songs "Playing Games" and then "Turn You Out." Like DeVante, he produced those records as well. So yeah, like 92 was when he really started to turn it up, and then
Turned
of
it
course the very next year, Jodeci's album "Diary of a Mad Band."
Woo.
So
My
Diary of
heart
a Mad
belongs to
Band,
you.
bro.
I watched that clip a billion times on that documentary. Like what? Him sitting at that piano? Jesus.
oh yeah,
Jesus Christ.
Jesus. It's a worship song. My heart belongs to you. Whatever you need. Jesus.
so yeah, but yeah, my
Whatever
heart
you
belongs to
need.
you.
Come
Cry
on,
for you.
somebody. Cry.
Yeah,
Man,
"Cry for You" is
what?
probably there. When I think of Jodeci, I think of the song "Cry for You." That, and then of course "Forever My Lady." Those are the first 2 songs that come to mind. So
Man.
those were definitely
So many songs come to mind with like my brothers were huge Jodeci fans and singers themselves. So like so many Jodeci songs.
Dope.
Like oh my gosh, Stay for like you said, Forever My Lady, Cry for You, Fiendin'.
Fiendin',
Like
yeah.
My Heart Belongs. Like it don't stop. It really just don't. Like they really was in a bag. It really just. Man, but then to know too that when he created this like the swing mob, the basement, and then like developed Missy and Genuine, and we would not have like Aaliyah's One in a Million without like you get what I'm saying? Like
No,
it's
no.
just the way that his hand was like indirectly in different things and how he helped develop. So like his sound still was carrying through. It's just. Man, he's just not talked about enough.
It's not.
I mean,
And the legacies of like producing and producers and arrangers and all the things, because he was all things.
so yeah, a foremost innovator, but very humble about his contributions, and that's when you know. And everybody says the same thing. The most humble people are probably the most talented in the room, because their talent speaks for itself. And DeVante Swing definitely exemplifies that quote, that phrase. So yeah, shout out to him, man. Even so, to the point where he mentored. I'm not sure produced. I wouldn't say produced, but even mentoring Flo Rida. So we're coming into today's era of artists that he still has his fingerprint on.
Ooh.
A lot of things that are happening even today with some of the the top people in the industry now. So that's incredible. That's incredible.
Incredible.
Mentoring and actually pouring into some of the artists today. So that's awesome.
Yeah, like, oh man. And you as a producer, Marlo, I know you just like
He's very
that Pentecostal church. He grew up in that Pentecostal.
Glory to God. Yeah. But no, for me, there are just certain things that are very influential in my journey of creativity. And I definitely, again, that's why I put DeVante up there in the top 5 of the 90s, because the sound that he created just with Jodeci alone, not even mentioning any other acts or artists that he produced for or had influence on, just that Jodeci sound itself was his own thing. It wasn't really necessarily like New Jack. It wasn't necessarily at the time what was considered standard R&B. It was literally like his own thing. Very innovative, like down to the elements of production that he used, just some of the rich, innovative sounds that he would put in his production. And then you would top it off with this real pretty like chord accompaniment of the production. Like all that.
Yeah.
Had not been no DeVante, you wouldn't hear that in production today. Because a lot of the producers now, they'll sample something with a vibe like that gives off that DeVante Swing keyboard action. Like before him, like you had very innovative chord progressions that Teddy would do, or Brian Morgan would do, and even Jam and Lewis would do. Yeah. But there was a way that his approach was you could hear like Commissioned and The Winans, like these guys are very influential in my style. You could really hear it. You know what I mean? So,
Man, shout out to DeVante Swing. Literally,
yeah. We love you, man. Thank you for your contribution to music, man. We love you, man. And
absolutely.
And let's go ahead, Ashley. My bad.
I also say, and I'm very proud of us because we're probably the first outsource to ever, talk about him. Like I'm not sure. Well, I mean, people that haven't worked with him.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying because we're probably the first fan based, media that have given him his flowers. So yeah, I'm proud of us for actually taking the time to talk about him because it's long overdue, and hopefully within the next 5 to 10 years, somebody will give him a lifetime teaming award.
Yeah,
so hope so. I'm praying for that.
Yeah,
yes.
Because also, he's definitely been through a lot in his career. He had a very traumatic experience happen to him in the early 90s that kind of changed him a little bit in regards to the momentum that he was really gaining. Some of that got lost because of that situation, and we just want to let you know we're glad that your trauma and the things you went through hasn't have you give up on your love and passion for music. He's still touring with Jodeci. I remember even seeing a clip recently, like the past few weeks ago. He was on stage doing some sort of gig or whatever with Jodeci, and he was feeling so good. He went back there to the bass player who had a Moog, started playing a key bass. I was like,
I would have passed.
Yes, sir.
This dude was like, do. I was like, let's go, DeVante.
Yes, sir.
I said, you better play key bass. Whoa!
Period.
I was like, yo, man. We love you, man. We
like,
really do.
yes, artists being musicians is just like such a
Yes.
such an
It is.
amazing thing. Yeah, like that is it's a different kind of thing, man. It's a different kind of thing. And yes, shout out to Jodeci. Shout out to one of the greatest R&B groups of all time, and DeVante Swing. Like, listen, yeah, I had to talk about it. As soon as I don't even know what sparked it, Joe. I was just like, I think I saw that clip and I was like, that's it. We got to talk about DeVante Swing. Like, perfect timing, producer series. Yeah, let's go. Let's get it. Yeah.
This has been another episode, another mixdown of the In Vehement Company Music Podcast, the show made by music enthusiasts.
For music enthusiasts.
That's right. Free the land.